Before you scroll away, stop right here because what happened between Bai Lu and Dylan Wang last night completely shattered the emotional walls fans believed could never fall again. And if you stay until the very end, you are going to witness how one emotional apology and one unexpected request turned a quiet private meeting into the most heartbreaking and unforgettable reunion the entertainment world has seen in years. So subscribe right now and stay with every second because this story unfolds in a way that will leave your heart racing long after it ends. For months, the distance between Bai Lu and Dylan Wang had become impossible to ignore. Fans noticed it immediately, even when the stars themselves refused to acknowledge anything publicly. The warmth that once existed naturally between them had slowly disappeared beneath carefully controlled smiles and painfully professional interactions. No more playful interviews. No more effortless laughter. No more late-night behind-the-scenes moments fans once adored endlessly online. Instead, there was silence, coldness, emotional separation that somehow felt louder than any public argument ever could. At first, people assumed time would eventually repair whatever hidden tension existed between them. But as months passed, the emotional distance only grew worse. Separate projects, separate appearances, separate lives, slowly moving further apart. And somewhere beneath all of it existed unresolved emotions neither of them seemed brave enough to confront directly. That was why nobody expected what happened next, especially Bai Lu herself. According to insiders, the entire situation began late one rainy evening after filming wrapped at a private studio complex outside Shanghai. Most of the cast and crew had already left for the night, while heavy rain echoed softly against the glass windows surrounding the building. Bai Lu reportedly remained alone inside one of the rehearsal rooms reviewing scripts quietly beneath dim lights while assistants finished organizing wardrobe materials nearby. She believed the night would end like every other exhausting workday recently had. Silence, distance, routine. Until suddenly, the door opened and Dylan Wang walked in unexpectedly. The atmosphere reportedly changed instantly. Not dramatic, not loud, just emotionally heavy in a way everyone nearby immediately felt without needing words to explain it. According to insiders, Bai Lu froze completely the second she saw him standing there. Because despite everything that had happened between them over recent months, she reportedly never truly expected Dylan Wang to approach her privately again. Especially not alone. Especially not after the painful emotional fallout surrounding their fractured connection. Witnesses later claimed Dylan Wang looked completely different emotionally that night. No polished celebrity confidence. No playful charm. Just exhaustion. Real emotional exhaustion carried quietly across his face, as if he had spent weeks fighting an internal battle nobody else could see. For several seconds, neither of them spoke at all. The rain outside filling the silence, while staff members nearby quietly left the room sensing something deeply personal was about to happen between them. Then finally Dylan Wang spoke softly. And the very first thing he said emotionally shattered Bai Lu completely. He apologized. Not casually. Not professionally. A real apology. The kind people give only when they realize they may already be too late to repair the damage they caused. According to insiders, his voice reportedly trembled slightly while admitting he handled everything between them terribly over the past year. The silence, the emotional distance, the coldness, all of it. Bai Lu reportedly stood there stunned, unable to respond immediately, because she had spent so long preparing herself emotionally for permanent distance that hearing genuine vulnerability from Dylan Wang again felt almost unreal. Then Dylan Wang said something else that changed everything completely. He admitted he missed her. Not publicly. Not professionally. Personally. Deeply. Painfully. That confession reportedly left Bai Lu visibly emotional almost instantly. Because according to insiders, she had convinced herself long ago that Dylan Wang no longer cared enough to even acknowledge what existed between them emotionally anymore. But hearing him finally admit the truth shattered every emotional wall she had spent months trying to build around herself. Still, the biggest shock had not arrived yet. After several moments of painful silence, Dylan Wang reportedly revealed the true reason he came to see her that night. It was not only to apologize. It was because he wanted to work beside her again. inside her new studio. That revelation completely stunned Bai Lu emotionally, because nobody expected Dylan Wang to voluntarily place himself beneath her leadership professionally after everything that had happened between them. Insiders later admitted Bai Lu reportedly stared at him in disbelief for several seconds before quietly asking if he truly understood what he was asking for. Because joining her studio would not simply reconnect them professionally. It would force them into constant emotional proximity again after months spent struggling just to survive ordinary interactions with each other publicly. But Dylan Wang reportedly did not hesitate. He told her calmly that losing opportunities mattered far less to him now than losing people he genuinely cared about emotionally. That sentence reportedly hit Bai Lu harder than anyone inside the room expected. Because beneath all the complicated emotions surrounding them existed one painful truth neither had fully admitted publicly before. They still mattered deeply to each other. Far more deeply than either of them wanted the world to understand. According to insiders, Bai Lu eventually sat down slowly while trying to process everything Dylan Wang was saying emotionally. Her hands reportedly trembling slightly while tears gathered quietly in her eyes. Not dramatic tears. Not loud crying. The kind of emotional reaction people have when someone finally says the words they spent months secretly wishing to hear. Dylan Wang reportedly continued apologizing for the emotional confusion he caused her over the past year. He admitted fear played a major role in his behavior. Fear of public pressure. Fear of ruining what they shared. Fear that staying emotionally close would eventually destroy both of them beneath endless rumors and expectations surrounding their connection. But instead of protecting them, the silence only created deeper emotional pain between them. Hearing him finally acknowledge that truth reportedly broke Bai Lu emotionally completely. At one point, insiders claimed she quietly asked why he waited so long to speak honestly. And, according to sources, Dylan Wang answered with heartbreaking honesty. He reportedly admitted he kept believing time would somehow fix things naturally until he realized distance itself was slowly destroying them instead. That confession emotionally devastated Bai Lu because she reportedly felt exactly the same way privately for months. Two people silently suffering while pretending emotional separation somehow protected them from further pain. The emotional atmosphere inside the room reportedly became overwhelming afterward. The rain outside growing heavier while both stars sat quietly confronting emotions neither had fully faced honestly before that night. Then came the moment fans later called unforgettable once insiders leaked details online. Dylan Wang reportedly reached into his bag and placed a folder carefully onto the table between them. Inside were creative plans, project ideas, future production concepts. Every single one reportedly designed specifically with Bai Lu's studio vision in mind. According to insiders, he spent months quietly developing ideas, hoping one day he might still find a way back into her professional and emotional world again. That revelation shattered Bai Lu emotionally completely. Because suddenly she realized Dylan Wang never truly stopped believing in what they could build together, even while emotionally pushing her away publicly. Witnesses later described Bai Lu crying silently while flipping through the project pages one by one beneath the soft studio lights. Every document proving Dylan Wang spent far more time thinking about their future than anyone realized. At one point, insiders claimed she quietly asked him whether this was really about work at all anymore. Dylan Wang reportedly smiled sadly before answering with devastating honesty. He said working beside her again was the only future he could still picture that did not feel emotionally empty anymore. That sentence spread across the internet like emotional wildfire once insiders leaked it later online. Fans completely collapsing emotionally over the raw honesty hidden inside his words. Because suddenly this was no longer about celebrity partnerships or studio business. It became about regret, second chances, and two people desperately trying to find their way back toward each other after almost losing everything silence once protected poorly. According to insiders, Bai Lu eventually admitted she was terrified of reopening emotional wounds that nearly destroyed her peace before. But despite that fear, she reportedly could not ignore the sincerity in Dylan Wang's apology anymore. Not after seeing how emotionally broken he truly looked standing in front of her that night. Then came the moment nobody expected. After hours of emotional conversation, Bai Lu reportedly finally agreed to consider his request seriously. Not because the projects impressed her, not because the business opportunity benefited her studio, but because for the first time in months Dylan Wang finally stopped hiding behind silence and spoke to her honestly again. That realization changed everything between them instantly. The emotional tension that once pushed them apart slowly transformed into something softer, fragile, uncertain, but real again. When news of the private meeting leaked online days later, fans erupted emotionally across social media. Some celebrating the possibility of reconciliation between them. Others warning reopening old emotional wounds could destroy them both even more painfully than before. But, regardless of opinion, everyone agreed on one thing. The emotional connection between Bai Lu and Dylan Wang clearly never disappeared completely, no matter how far apart they tried forcing themselves to become publicly. And perhaps that is why this story hurts so deeply emotionally. Because sometimes people do not lose each other through hatred or betrayal. Sometimes they lose each other simply because fear convinces them silence is safer than honesty until the loneliness becomes impossible to survive anymore. And now the only question that remains is this. When someone finally returns with genuine regret and the courage to speak honestly after months of emotional distance, do you protect your peace by walking away forever, or risk everything again for the possibility that love and trust might still survive beneath all the pain left behind? If this story touched your heart and you want more emotional drama stories like this, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who understands that sometimes the most powerful apologies are not the loud public ones. They're the quiet moments where someone finally admits they were never truly ready to lose you at all.